What did you do? Were there any books did you read? How did you change your money beliefs?
So you have to truly believe I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to change my family. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, you have to truly, with every fiber in your fucking bones. You're a 7-figure earner. You're just in the wrong vehicle. If you were doing what you're doing now in this vehicle, you'd be a millionaire. I don't run ads for fucking mentorship programs. I don't run ads for, 2-day intensives. I don't run ads for pop-ups. I'm just being myself. What you do now, what you have the power to do now can impact people forever. Fuck.
All right, guys, welcome back to another podcast with Shaq in Progress. I have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Tino. How are you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great, man. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for having me.
Dude, thank you, man.
I'm really excited to be here. When you first reached out, you were like, hey, I know this is a big ask or whatever. And I was like, what? Hell yeah, I'll be on your podcast, man.
Dude, I appreciate that. I mean, I'll start off with that. I guess my question is, you've been on a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can pick and choose every now and then. Why did you say yes to jumping on with this?
I've known you for quite some time now, a couple years, I would say, right?
Yeah, plugged in.
Yeah, a couple years. And you've just always been a genuine person. Like, every time we talk, you DM'd, you're like just real. And the stuff you post, like, you do want to lead with value, and you do put stuff out that actually helps people. So I can resonate with that, and I can respect it and appreciate it. I'm sorry, how rude.
Oh, God.
I can appreciate that. And every time I've talked to you, I felt like there's been some sort of substance there. So, and we like a lot of the same shit. So.
Yeah, true. Yes, I'm excited to get into that. Yeah. So, thank you. It means a lot to me.
Absolutely.
Well, great. Well, to get in here, I've done a little bit of research on you. I think you've told your story a few times, so I know a lot of it. But, everybody that comes on, most of them are in progress to getting where they want to be. I think you've maybe achieved some success in your life that you can feel good about, but maybe you still want to get somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
I think you're always going after. So this podcast is generally around entrepreneurs, creators, trying to get to where they want to be, right? And your life story has some gems to help some people out.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So to get started, I guess I wanted to take us back to Tiny Tino.
Okay.
Right? And where did you start seeing your entrepreneurial journey or like mindset as a child?
Funny enough, my mom, we're single mom, raised 2 boys. She always had like an entrepreneurial spirit. She had a job working medical billing, medical records in San Ysidro in San Diego. And she wanted to like buy toys in LA and then turn around, sell them at the swap meet. And she would take me and my brother along. My brother was like really small, so he would play with the toys, but I would try to like sell them. And my mom would teach me like, how to sell toys and stuff. And we had these little things that would like open up and go, you've seen those.
Yes.
Toys.
Yeah. Yep.
And she had like these knockoff Dragon Ball Z toys.
Okay.
And we would sell that stuff and little light shit. And, I always was not necessarily around entrepreneurs, but my mom, she failed, many times she failed in different business ventures. She had this, I'll never forget, there was these like Hershey's chocolate bars that were like customized. So like, let's say you were having a baby shower. It would be like on the back, it would have the ingredients. It'd be like 30% love, and, shit
cool.
like that. And it'd be like customized to whoever, you and your wife were having a baby, whatever, boy or girl. And it was like Sweet Wraps by Laura. And my mom, she was born in Mexico.
Okay.
I'm first generation born here. And I remember as a kid correcting her because she wrote Sweat Wraps by Laura, not sweet. She spelled it wrong. Yeah. So like, I remember correcting her on that, and we had this whole debate, and I was a kid. I think I was like, I want to say like 12 or 13, but it's just something I remember. And then she had bought in a maternity clothing business by somebody. It was called emommy.com. And it was back when the internet was like dial up, and it was doing pretty good on eBay. It was doing really good. And, just my mom was trying to do different things to kind of like step into that realm of entrepreneurship. And, ultimately that didn't do as well as she had wanted it to, just because time commitment. She had a job at the same time. And, my mom always taught me, to work hard and keep your values, keep grounded. And it's something that stuck with me is like being an entrepreneur is very hard.
Right.
It's extremely hard.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the guts and glory, but as soon as it gets hard, people end up quitting. And it's funny, me and Chris were talking about that just on the way here, that people have so much fucking potential, like so much potential. I just want to shake them sometimes.
I agree.
And they quit before they actually have their breakthrough, before they break through that self-imposed glass ceiling that ultimately is going to garner them the best success they've ever had in their life.
Right.
But it's crazy to think that we all have these internal thoughts that tell us this is the best you're going to do. Right. This is all you're destined for. You're never going to achieve greatness. That's all you got.
So what about, I guess, you have an internal self-belief, right? So what were some of the things that your mom was putting in you growing up?
I think my mom wanted she wanted me to go to college. I wanted to join the service. She wanted me to go to college because she didn't finish college. She wanted me to have a secure W-2 job. I think she wanted, just like any parent, right, wants the best for their children. Right. They want them to achieve more than they did. She wanted me to have the stability of a steady income. And even when I first got into when I first got into sales, she kind of fought me on it. She's like, mijo, 1 month you're gonna be eating hot dogs, and the next one it'll be filet mignon.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Commission based. It's just she did instilled in us like hard work, always be humble, never forget where you came from, stuff of that nature. But she was the best role model. She was my mom and my dad and my best friend.
I love that. I love that. So I guess, speak highly of your mom, and she was there a lot throughout your life. I guess tell me a little bit about your dad. And
my dad, I love him to death. He's just the guy that never grew up. He's he's always on the newest video games, on the newest stuff. And I'm a huge video game nerd.
Yeah,
right?
I know that. Yeah.
He said, I know that.
Call of Duty.
Guilty as charged. Yeah. But it's like, my dad was there for me, but he was more so like a friend. My mom raised us and had the hard conversations with me. She taught me how to pee, standing up. My dad, we have a better relationship now. My brother doesn't really have the best relationship with him. He holds some resentment. But for me, my dad, he's like a good friend. But as far as like being my dad, like it was never like, it was my mom.
I see.
My mom was like my hero.
Right.
Yeah.
So she was playing both roles for you.
Right. Okay. For sure.
Yeah. Cause the Instagram clout you post, I mean, that comes with a lot, right? And it comes with years of experience.
Right.
And there's a lot of challenges people don't see. Mm-hmm. And I think the value is in the challenge, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And trying to uncover those things. And a lot of entrepreneurs end up having a past. They have some sort of, whether they've been
trauma,
through drugs,
something.
addictions. Yeah. And, we'll get to, I know you had a divorce that you went through, but I got some intel about you and what you used to flip with Randy and stuff like that. But Randy told me back in high school, he was going to Agua Fria as a senior.
This is a fucking like Nardwar episode.
He also tried his hand at making his own clothes.
Yeah, how did you know that? My brother told you this?
Yeah.
Pimp status.
Pimp status.
That wasn't even the clothing.
Okay, he said it was the most low budget-ish known to man, but me and my little 8th grader friends used to go effing crazy over it, and we would wear it to school. My shirt would say pimp on it.
I was just talking about that. I was just on the way here.
Oh, crazy.
On the way here, we were just talking about that. Yeah.
So tell me what kind of got you, was that your first like shot at something?
Yeah. So like, it's funny enough because we were talking about like childhood and kids and friends and family. Chris, whenever we spend some time alone, we kind of pick each other's brains and stuff. And we have some really meaningful conversations. And on the way here, he was asking me about my childhood and, did I always know I was going to be successful? And I said, yes. And I was a kid and I have drawings when I was in like second, third grade of me standing in front of a Lamborghini.
Whoa.
Yeah, man, wearing a nice watch. Like I always knew one day, some way, fucking kicking and screaming, I'm going to be successful. And I was telling him, as kids, we don't know we're poor. Like, you don't know you're poor.
Yeah.
The only way you know you're poor is if other people tell you you're poor, make you feel poor.
Very true.
Or if your own family tells you we can't afford that, mijo. Next time. That's when you feel poor.
True.
You see all the other little kids fucking walking around with cotton candy and Mickey Mouse ears.
It's true.
But you snuck food in. You
know what I mean? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
So that's when you realize you're poor.
Right.
But in high school, he asked me about like my friends. My family, they're all like gangbangers and cholos and shit, you know, in and out of jail and ankle monitors, probation officers, all that shit. Wow. So, I took a different route, obviously. And in high school, and all through elementary and middle school, like I was in the gifted classes and I was more into like the arts.
Okay.
I love painting, drawing, music, making music, poems. Like I was always into that stuff. Like kids would call me gay sometimes. They're like, "Oh, you're gay."
What?
Yeah, because I would wear like pink clothing and different things.
Weird. Okay.
I was never gay, but
yeah.
it's just like I was more open to things, and I started creating my own clothing brand. I didn't like the clothing that I had, so I would buy my own clothes and I would sew them. And funny story, my brother found a broken Burberry umbrella in a dumpster. He went dumpster diving. That's how you know we were poor.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a Ralph Lauren polo from Goodwill.
Okay.
And I flipped up the collar. I cut the umbrella pattern, that Burberry pattern, plaid pattern. I put it like on the underside of the collar, and then I would do it on the inside of the sleeve, just right here. So just like subtle accents.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also would wear my own like streetwear. I had my own like streetwear. It was called Pimp Status, and I would get like fabric paint like from this tall tees from fucking Foot Action and Foot Locker. And I had stencils and I'd like it'd be like stars and fucking Playboy bunny heads and fucking
That's what he said.
Yeah, it was all. But bro, and like I would buy Dunks and Air Force Ones, like white ones, white on whites, and then I would like hand paint them pink and white. And bro, I would pull up with a pink and white Pimp Status sprayed shirt, fucking custom painted shorts, denim shorts with like tears in them, and fucking I would paint them all different colors so it looked like splotches of ink and shit.
Right.
Just real abstract. And then I would pull up with my white and pink custom fucking Air Force Ones and Sobeys. Remember Sobeys?
Yes, I do. Yes.
I would buy
the lizard.
Yep. On like the day before, I would have my outfit out the day for the next day. I would go to the Quick Trip and I'd buy a couple pink Sobeys so I can carry them around school.
Dude,
wearing the pink.
This is before Instagram. This is before Instagram. Yeah, like you already were
MySpace
branding
wasn't even
yourself.
like
Exactly.
Yeah. So like I was like always like the freshest kid at school.
Right.
Like all the little bitches thought I was hot. And all the dudes were like, "Oh, that fool's gay."
Yeah. You're hating, obviously. Yeah. So
Well,
I guess like you mentioned quickly that most of your family, they were gangsters going through that. So were you conscious of that and trying to break free, or what was that?
It's funny because I grew up in Southside San Diego, so it's like cholos and like Crips and Bloods and all that shit, and like all my family like got into that, and I never really fit in. I was telling him we would go play basketball, and I love playing basketball, but I like playing with my cousins, but I didn't like going to the park with them because it would always turn up into a fight. Like they'd pick fights with people and it'd be turning to gang shit. Right. I'm just there to play basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like for me, my when we moved from San Diego, it was like probably the best thing ever because we moved from there out here to Estrella Mountain Ranch when it first started. And I was exposed to like a completely different thing.
I see.
Like completely different people. Like where I lived, it was like no Mexican people.
Right.
When I moved, it was like no, it was just all white.
So your environment shifted.
Yeah, completely changed.
So you had a chance. You had the opportunity to not have to live that way.
Yeah, to start fresh.
Right.
To ultimately start fresh and not really care who I was or whatever. I could be myself without having people really, like at least my family members, talk shit to me.
Right. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, they want to be not maybe you, but I think what you represent is you being you inspires others to want to be them, right, to be themselves, but they have trouble getting there.
That's ultimately what I preach too, especially on social media. Like everybody on social media wants to be like everyone else.
Right.
Like it's so fucking, it blows my mind. Like even these people, like I always say this, like people that have money want popularity, and people that are popular don't know how to get money.
It's true. Yeah.
It's funny because you see like these guys that are super wealthy doing just crushing it in business, and they drop like the most stupid content that's just terrible, right?
Right.
And it's like for me, like and I'm bad at this, bro. I shit post all day, like on my Instagram. Like I've had people reach out to me like, "Hey, bro, like, can you give me a shout out on your IG? Like, I'll pay you $500." I'm like, "Nah, I don't do that." And they're like, "What do you mean? You're like posting these fucking memes and da da da." I'm like, yeah, because that's what I want to fucking post.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. And then I've had DMs where they're like, "Oh, you're a business owner. Like, you're a boss. You shouldn't be posting stuff like this." I'm like, "Fuck you. You're not my customer anyway."
Yeah.
Boom. You just got a VIP ticket to the block party.
So you don't you're very like, you don't like feeling confined.
I don't. I
can see that.
Claustrophobic. Like I want to be myself 24/7.
How do you keep that since you were a kid? I think most people, not most, but people give up.
You know why they give up? Because people tell them that what they're doing is not socially acceptable. That's why they give up. If you're a kid, you know no better. If you're a kid and you want to dress a certain way, you want to act a certain way.
So true. You're right.
You're a product of your environment. Your parents are telling you, "Oh, don't do that, Tino. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to walk this way. You're supposed to say this. You're supposed to dress like this. You're supposed to think like this." That's the worst one, to think like this. That's why kids are so pure. They have no negative thought in their fucking brain.
True.
They have no negative thought in their brain. Yeah. And they're fearless because they haven't been burned before.
Yeah.
Adults have been burned before. They've been taught that, you know what, people aren't going to like you if you're different. Right? And that's as a parent, that's like the biggest fear. I got kids and, you know, I don't want my kids to get bullied. Right. But that ultimately changes people and their trajectory of their of a person's evolution growing into an adult, because they've been tarnished.
Yeah, they place what happened to them onto
them. Yeah, you're just, it's like you're passing down your generational trauma or belief system, even if it's not the best belief system.
Right.
You know, as far as like keeping it, there was a time when I lost it. When
was this?
I would say when I was in the Army. The Army kind of strips you down.
Yeah, right.
They strip you down of everything that makes you an individual.
Did you want to go into the Army, or was
I always wanted to be in the military. There's a lot of things I want to do with my life, Shaq. Like I wanted to be an artist.
I mean, you are. I see your paintings.
Be a rapper. There's so many different things I wanted to achieve in my life. Like it's fucking crazy, man. So I tell people, like, you know, the military made it, like I wouldn't be the person I am today if it wasn't for the military.
Okay.
They gave me structure. They taught me what it means to do what you say you're going to do, and if you don't do certain things at the prescribed time, people die. Like the importance of just doing what you're supposed to do, right. You know, and just having morals. Like what you do when people are watching is important, right. But what you do when people are not watching is more important.
That's the truth.
And that's something that the military really taught me and instilled in me. But that's when I did lose it a little bit, because, you know, for a good reason, you're supposed to be all equals,
yes, right?
Green suiters. So, you know, they break everyone down and they show you there's no ego. You know, everyone is everyone, and you're only as strong as your weakest link. So I did lose my individuality for a little bit during that time.
That's honest. I mean, that's not easy. You're in the military, and you're going to get beat down if you try to stand up. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
That says a lot to you, to who you are. I guess I want to ask you this: who was the voice? Was it your mom that still supported your individuality, or was she also somewhat against it?
My mom always supported me, like in that aspect of wanting to dress different, or
that's awesome,
dude. Or I wanted to fucking dye, put highlights in my hair like Ricky Martin. Like she always supported me, man.
That's
like,
cool.
Always supported me. What she didn't support at first was me, you know, wanting to get into sales and entrepreneurship.
When it came to money,
yeah.
You know, my family, I'm Filipino. You know, first generation American. So when it comes to finances, when it comes to money, it becomes a bit more emotional of a conversation.
Right. They're more of a scarcity mindset, I'm assuming. Like, yes. And that's my family.
Exactly.
Like my mom would, like, dude, she goes crazy on the shit I spend my money on. Like yeah. But you know, it's like, hey, she doesn't know how much money I make.
What did she say now? What does she think now after the years?
Yeah, now it's like, it's not like a fad. Obviously, it's not a fluke. So she
Right.
kind of understands it, and now she's just like cool with it. Now she doesn't question anything.
Right. Yeah, she gets it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that, you know, a lot of your inspiration, your work, you know, everything that you do today comes from a place of like your mom's voice behind you, like carrying you, right? Some people unfortunately have to go through the opposite.
Yeah.
And they end up having like resentment in their heart. That was me. Like I've been trying to grind, and I just realized last year I'm hurt and all this pain I'm having to face, right?
Yeah.
And that's a different type of struggle. And both are very strong. You can have a good voice behind you growing up, and it's just as powerful as someone that has a negative voice behind them trying to run from it.
Absolutely. It's tough. So like, you know, it's crazy. I always say this in entrepreneurship. Like, although my mom, she supported me, she wasn't very optimistic.
Right. Yeah, I see.
And then as me, I started doubting myself. It's like, okay, is she not optimistic about it because she doesn't think I'm good enough to do it? You know, but all it is just like they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So then their whole thing is like safety and comfortability and being a creature of habit and knowing what they know.
Yep.
Like you're not ever gonna ask somebody who makes $30,000 a year if they can show you how to make $1 million a year, right?
Right.
It's the same. It took me so long to realize that, because I would talk to people and ask for advice on things that I was already ahead of. Family members,
so you're
friends.
out figuring out by yourself.
Yeah. And it took me a long time to realize that, hey, man, I can't be asking people for advice on shit that they've never gone through. Like it's crazy. I have this reel on my Instagram that I posted like 2 years ago where I'm in a Lambo and I'm driving down Central, and I'm like, someone's telling me that I shouldn't spend my money on cars, you know, and I'm telling them like, I can't listen. It's not that I'm too good to listen, but I shouldn't listen to that. Like, I'll take the advice. I'll listen, I'll consider it, but that should not be the end all be all to my decision-making process, because the person that's giving me advice on not buying a Lambo isn't even in the position to be able to buy a Lambo.
Right. Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. 100%.
So it's not like a thing like that. So I always ask this, like when someone's like, oh yeah, I don't think you should do that. Well, I'm like, well, fuck, I didn't even ask you for your fucking opinion. But I'll say like, okay, well, if money wasn't an option, like it wasn't a situation, would you do it? Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
cool.
Always that way, yes.
So we're not in the same situation, though.
Right. Right.
So yeah. So then clearly it's not it's more of a want than a need. And right now, if you wanted to, you can't. So that's the hard part, is like when you're trying to go through your journey and you're around people that aren't on the same wavelength or in the same part of their life.
Right.
It's tough. And that's why your biggest supporters are strangers, typically.
Yeah, true.
You know, people you meet online, people that have similar interests, because they don't feel they have the same problems. They have the same issues where they don't have supportive, networks in their corner. It's hard, man. Like, most people that support you are strangers. And I understand that, because they're going through the same shit you are.
Yeah, I've seen you post this before. Like the ones aren't closest to you are the ones, the outsiders are the ones that usually support you.
And you know what? Like, I'm sure in your journey you've lost a lot of friends, family members as well, that used to be really tight with you and now they're not as much. Yep. The craziest part is what happens is those people that were your friends that at first they support the idea of you doing this. They support the idea of you trying to do this, to do that, to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it happen. They're like, yeah, I know you will. And then you actually start doing it. And then 6 months pass by and you're like, man, I had my first $100,000 month, or I did this, or any milestone, right? And then fucking a year later, you're like, yeah, I'm going to celebrate a year in business. I'm going to buy myself a Rolex or whatever, right? And then those people just kind of become distant. They were supporting you at first.
Why do you think that?
Now they're not sure. Because you know why? It's one thing and it's one thing only. Because it reminds them that they're still in the same fucking spot.
That's the truth.
And there's no other reason why.
You're a mirror to those guys,
Right?
right? They have to face the fact that they didn't get there. I still day trade. I'm still not fully profitable, but there are too many times I talk to guys that are like older, right? And they see these young guys who are profitable in trading or in their mid 30s and they're crushing it, right? But they say, "Oh, it's fake, it's a scam," right? They'd rather call the guy that's profitable in trading a scam rather than accept
say, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, why couldn't I get there? So you're a mirror to a lot of people.
100%. And it's crazy because like if Shaq and your friends started here, and then as time progresses, it's like this, you're going up.
Right.
And then you look back and they stop supporting you, but they're in the same spot. They just coasted through. It's super easy to get caught in that habit. I catch myself in that complacency as well sometimes, where it's like starts getting mundane and you're like, oh, I'm making money. Well, this is happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know, but then it's like, all right, well, what's important to you? Is it your internal scoreboard, or is it making money? Is it time off, quality of life,
right?
Like different things like that. But ultimately, it just reminds those people that they started where you started, and you said you were going to do something, and you're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
And they're still in the same spot.
Yeah. What would you say? I'm going to get us here onto the next thing, but what
I
would you
talk
say?
a lot too.
No,
so
I love it. These are going to be lots
sure.
of clips, man. So get lots of edits. But what would you say to that guy that's down here and then they're starting to separate, but they want to be that guy?
Yeah.
Right. I think there's a lot of beliefs that needs to change. So what did you do? Were there any books did you read? How did you change your money beliefs?
So you can't make money until you believe you can make money. And a lot of people want to make money, but they don't believe it's going to happen to them. And it's funny. I see the same people at fucking events time after time after time, right?
Yeah.
And they're still kind of just going through it. And I'll ask them, hey, man, it's been a while since I've seen you. What's new? Da, 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 da. And they're just like, oh, yeah, well, I'm still trying to get my first deal. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I got a mentee that started fucking a week ago that got 2 deals this week. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's because they don't believe that they can actually do it. They think if I just hang out, like get around these people in the room, which you should,
right? Yes.
But you have to truly believe I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to change my family. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like you have to truly, with every fiber in your fucking bones, believe that you can achieve that, or else you're not going to. Like it doesn't matter.
You believe that in your heart. That
in my
it
heart.
Comes that first.
In my heart. That's what I told him. Yeah. When I was a kid, I knew I was going to fucking be rich.
That's so cool.
I knew it. I knew it. I drew about it in these little books. Like I always had fucking the little, the green Lambo poster from the fucking Scholastic school.
Yeah. Cheesy looking ones.
I always bought the fucking Lambo poster.
That's awesome. I love that. So Kanye West.
Yeah.
All right. I've seen you post about it. I'm like, oh, that's sick. I love that. I love that.
That's the same. Look, it's the same.
Dude, that's so cool. Yeah, that looks great. It looks just like the shirt, man.
Yeah. It's all photorealistic.
Shout out to your tattoo artist, man. That's good.
Avery Hart at Innovative Inc.
That's awesome. So, I've seen you post about him, talk about his music, and you're inspired by him. And, he's controversial to a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
But to the world.
To the world. And I think that mirrors a little bit of who you are. You're controversial to a lot of people. You make people mad. You make people happy. Like you make them all feel stuff, right?
Right.
So where did Kanye West come into your life and how did he help that music?
Kanye has like a really, like I'm not a fanboy for anybody in life. Like I'm a huge Allen Iverson fan. My rule is I don't wear any man's name on the back of my jersey.
I love that. Yeah,
it always says Shark on it, right? And but as a kid, 16 years old, listening to Kanye's mixtapes when he was still making beats exclusively, and then he just started rapping, and he had these like mixtapes and his story, and it's like I was that kid. That was the creative kid in high school that people thought was gay. That wasn't cool.
Right.
I was cool, but I wasn't cool.
Right.
Cool to that crowd. And I loved his music. I loved the fashion. He was like huge into fashion. I was huge into fashion. And I listened to it all through 16 and up. And, he's gone through a lot of stuff, heartbreak, and very public about it, and a lot of emotions and ideas that he's shared, I've gone through. And every album, a lot of his songs, like I'm very passionate about music. So I can listen to a song in just headphones with my eyes closed, and it'll take me back to that exact moment where I was when I was listening to a song. I can do that. I can listen to Led Zeppelin, and I remember being in a bombed out building in South Baghdad with one headphone on. Whoa. Like, yeah. So like I can listen to certain songs, and with Kanye, it's weird because I feel like Pablo. Like I feel like Kanye sometimes. I feel like nobody fucking understands me.
I see.
I feel like I want to say stuff and it gets me in trouble with my wife too sometimes, because I'll say things that I'm thinking, and it's probably not like the most politically correct thing to say, right, or considerate thing to say to my wife.
Right.
It's not that I'm being disrespectful. I'm just saying my feelings. It's sometimes maybe I'm not expressing them 100% the way I should.
Right.
But that's how I feel. Nobody can tell me that I'm not feeling correctly. Right. Like I'll never tell you like, oh, you shouldn't feel that way.
Right.
If you feel a certain way, then that's your feeling. You're entitled to feel that way.
Right.
Now, if it's something I did and I don't want you to feel that way, then I need to correct it. And
so that's a very honest, transparent way to look at yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have the time into capacity to even look at themselves that way, right?
Right.
So you focus on what you're saying. You know what's coming out of your mouth. You're paying attention. Like, this is how I feel, right? Yeah. And that there is some fault to that. But where does that, how did that come about? Or have you had that since you were a kid?
I think I didn't have that. When I was a kid, I was like brutally honest about everything. And then I lost it when I was in the military. And then when I got back out with my ex-wife, I was brutally honest. And I think it comes from me knowing that I am a little different. I'm not like your normal fucking guy. Like, I could admit that, good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not normal. So if I feel like something, I say it. And a conversation I was having with my brother before I came, me and him are like opposites. He's very emotional and sensitive. I'm not. Like, I'm very in tune with my emotions. Right. I control my emotions. I've done a lot of work internally. I've been an alcoholic before in the past after the military. I've been depressed before. But what I realized is that I can only control the controllables, right? And I can't stress out over things that I can't change. It's like God, please give me the
prayer that they
how's
have.
It go?
Yeah.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I can not change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. That's important. It's always stuck with me. Even 50 Cent said it on the Get Rich or Die Trying album. And it's true. Like, I don't stress out about things that I can't control. I used to, but I think I realized that I am different, and I can be who I am. And it's either you're going to accept me for who I am, or I'm just not everyone's cup of tea. But life is about compromise, right? Like, I'm not like just big dick swinging on my wife. You know what I mean? Right. Like, if she's not happy with something, she voices her opinion and her concerns, and communication is key. And I work on it, but I don't change for anyone.
Yeah. You don't let go of yourself.
Right. And I think that's like probably the hardest thing. 'Cause like people, like a lot of people love me, but a lot of people don't love me.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right.
But the people that do love me, they're like, man, they're raving fans. Because like, this guy's fucking amazing. He says all the shit that, everyone thinks about. And I don't say it because I feel like it's edgy or borderline disrespectful or stereotypical or whatever. Like, I'm just going to be myself 24/7. And sometimes it does get me in trouble.
You'd rather be hot or cold, but not lukewarm.
Right.
Instead of being in the middle, you'd rather be on one of the sides, right? Yeah. When most like to be in the middle.
And Cat Williams said, man, if you ain't got no fucking haters, you ain't doing nothing right. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I don't want haters.
Right. Yeah. But it comes with it. It comes with it.
And I'm not a guy who like really cares what people think. If I've just done so much good in my life, like so much good by people that like it's just very hard for me to like be brought down. I'm the most I'm the most positive person you ever meet. I'm like half
I
glass
believe it.
full, 24 fucking 7. It's crazy, bro.
I believe it.
The world can be crumbling around me, and I'm like, man, fuck. Well, at least this fucking soda tastes good, you know.
That's a gift in itself. I think a good segue into, you know, you being such a positive person. I have your brother has something to say. I asked for him to, you know, who's Tino, right? To you. He said, Tino is an epitome of the term big brother. I feel extremely bad for people that have siblings that aren't as close as them. Growing up with a single mother who worked and went to school full time and having a father that I didn't see much, he stepped up to be everything I did have as a father early in life. So there's more that he said. I'm going to go through it. He's very like into it, right? So I want to make sure we go through it. So I had this thought, without your dad around, you had to grow up fast.
Yeah.
You're the older, right? Yeah. The eldest. So you're seeing your mom struggle, you're helping out. And then not only that, you've got Randy.
Yep.
You know, so now you've got to put your big boy's pants on. You got to toughen him up, you know, and you got to be around him. So talk to me a little bit about how you had to do that for him growing up.
It's hard because I was like, you know, I assumed the role as like the man of the house early on, and like even to this day, like my brother, you know, he's one of my closest confidants. He's one of my best friends, and we talk, and I know when something's wrong with him. He unfortunately never knows when anything's wrong with me. But you know, we have conversations that are just like they're tough. Like they're tough. They're conversations that a dad should have with a son. And you know, I'm constantly coaching him, and I'm responsible for him. I'm 38 years old. He's 34 years old. He can support himself, but I still feel I'm responsible for him because I mean, we're all we have at the end of the day. You know, powerful. That's how we grew up. And my mom always told us, like, us three is all we have.
I love that.
This is us.
I love that. He goes on to say, our mom is incredible and did absolute best to make sure that we're good. But she always drilled one statement into our heads since we were kids. I think we got it pretty early in life. One day I'm going to be gone, and you're going to have all you're going to have is each other for the rest of your lives. So look out for each other.
Yep.
And that's the kind of that's how it's been ever since. So there's more to it. I'm going to stop here. So it feels like a movie, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you hear in movies, right?
Yeah,
so that's what's been instilled with you guys. So when did Randy become Randy to you? Like, I know you guys have been doing business together for a while, but there was a point where you're like, hey, Randy, come do business with me. Where did that start?
Yeah, so he was after the Army, I got into sales. I was in the car dealership world, and I started cracking off some pretty good checks. And I'm like, hey, dude, you need to do this. And he was working as executive chef in a meal prepping company and doing this stuff and working at Trump Tower. And, you know, eventually he left that, and he'll tell his story because it's actually pretty crazy. Then he came, and I told him, hey, man, come work in the car business. Come work in the car business. I was a manager at the time. And I showed him checks, and he's like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And ever since then, you know, he made like $7K, I think, his first month. And I was really hard on him. I was an asshole when I was in the car business. I was a fucking asshole. Like, you see like Wolf of Wall Street type shit. Like, I was a dick. Like, I was an asshole to everyone around me. Really? I was unhappy. I was making fucking a lot of money, but I was just super unhappy. And I remember I treated people like shit, but they loved me when they got paid, you know? And my brother, I would move dealerships because they would poach me, headhunters. And I would tell my brother, hey, blow out. And he'd be like, all right. He'd hang up the phone and quit and just fucking blindly just leave. And then call me, be like, where are we going? Like,
wow.
Yeah, he would just follow me, like, wherever I went. And when I got into real estate, he was working at an insurance company. And I remember I'm like, here, let me try it out. I don't know about these guys. Let me see. And at the time, I was already a liquid millionaire. And so I had savings and everything. So it's okay. I can try new things. Yeah. And if I step on my dick, I can still go back to the popsicle stand selling right. cars, you know?
Yeah.
And he was working at an insurance company. And I remember I called him and I was like, hey, bro, blow out. And he fucking quit. He hung up the phone and fucking quit on the spot, bro.
How much time was that from the car dealership you started working in insurance and you gave him that call?
I think he had just been there, like he had just gotten licensed in 44 states or whatever the fuck he says all the time. It was like he was there for like a week and a half, and then he just fucking quit.
And he got that call.
Yeah, he was like on the floor, like done with his licensing shit for like a week and a half, and then I called him. I was like, "Dude, just quit."
Blow out.
I said, "I found the honey hole."
Do you still carry a bit of that weight today?
Yeah, like I said, I'm responsible for him. So like I own multiple businesses, and we're partnered on some of them, and like I feel like my brother's like, we were talking about it today. He's like, I feel overwhelmed. I said, yeah, you look overwhelmed. And I think you're overwhelmed because you can't handle a lot of different things. Like you're really good at doing a couple things, the best that you can. And you're great at that. But like me, I do a little bit on a lot of things. He can't handle that. And that's just his zone of genius, his power position. And we were talking about it today. And so like I have to keep my brother busy. Like I have to keep him busy. If he's not busy, he doesn't thrive. Like he's got to be doing something all the time, which is cool because I got to be doing something all the time.
Right.
But I do like to just kick back sometimes and just throw my feet on the desk and relax.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You go insane every now and then.
But yeah, ultimately, I feel like I'm responsible for my brother. His success or failures depend on me setting him up, but they also depend on him doing the work. So
I see. Yeah. So it's you grew up fast. You're carrying those shoulders, and you've got people following. Chris is here, and a lot of these people look up to you, right? You're at the top of the totem pole. Like there's no one above you, and that takes on a lot of responsibility, a lot of weight. You have your family, you have kids, you have a wife, right?
Yeah.
What do you do to maintain that?
Bro, it's fucking stressful, man. Like people don't talk about it.
Yeah,
right? People don't talk about it. Everyone's like, yeah, I'm king in the castle. Right? Like, but nobody talks about like heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like it's fucking heavy. I have stresses, right? Like I don't have any financial stresses, but which is like 80% of most people's stresses.
Right.
But the stresses that come along with being the quote unquote boss is the responsibility of the businesses, the responsibility of your employees, your team members. Like not only do I have the responsibility of myself and my family, I have a responsibility to put Chris in a position for him and his family to thrive.
Right.
I stress out about that.
Wow.
I stress out about my brother. I stress out about other team members and employees, right? I have multiple businesses, brick and mortar, some virtual. Like I stress out about them and their families. Like they look up, like I depend on them, but they depend on me.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. It's the truth. On paper, that's what it looks like.
Right. And so it's extremely stressful. I tell my wife, like, God damn, man, what the fuck? I said I didn't want a big team. I said I didn't want this. I said, because I like fucking hanging out in my underwear at 2 p.m. making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, but it's so gratifying because it's not fun. I always say this to my friends, my core group of friends who've been around me forever. It's not fun when you're the only guy who's rich. It's not fun. It's cool, but it's not relatable. It's not fun. Wow. I don't want to be the only guy wearing a nice watch. I don't want to be the only guy saying, hey, let's go on vacation, not fucking batting an eye at a, $10,000 fucking weekend. That's not fun. And it's also not fun just paying for everyone all the time.
Right. Yeah.
So it's so cool to be able to put people in positions to win. Right. And you can't balance that. Like, you're like, how do you do that? You can't. Like, it's a never-ending chase. Like when people say, "Oh, work-life balance," that doesn't exist, bro.
I totally.
It doesn't
agree.
exist. Like those fucking people that are like, "Yeah, I'm gonna work for myself so I can work whatever the fuck I want." Yeah, okay, try that. You're gonna be broke as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to work 3 times as much as if you were just clocking in 9 to 5.
Right. Yeah, I've not a lot of people know the feeling of everybody calling emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. They're relying on you.
Everyone depends on you. You get pulled a fucking million different ways. Oh, I'm going through this, or hey, I wanted to ask you for some advice, and now you're a fucking counselor.
Yes,
bro. There was times when we had a full house team in the office, and I was like wearing these fucking Apple Vision Pros just so that motherfuckers wouldn't talk to me.
Whoa.
Yeah. I told my wife about that, and she's like, that's a problem. I said, yeah, it is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I tell my brother, I'm like, dude, sometimes I just put them shits on and I just have them on just so that So, because if they look through the glass and they see that I have them on, they think I'm busy and they won't fucking bother me.
Wow.
And it's not that they're bothering
me. Right. Yeah.
It's just that sometimes my brain needs to fucking just chill. I'm a guy. This is so weird. When I was with my ex-wife in my house, I had my own bed, like spare bedroom that was just like for gaming, home office. I just like to sometimes just get away and be by myself. And even now, like my office, I have that little art studio area in there. Like I like to sometimes on a Sunday, we have lazy Sundays at home. I just want to be alone, and I go there, I listen to music, and I paint, and I sip, and I'll smoke some hookah, and I'll be there by myself.
I like that.
And I like that. I like getting away. Right. And when you have a big team, you have people that depend on you. You can't just get away at any time.
Right.
It used to be like where I didn't have that, and I would just, if I wanted to get away, I would just fucking pack my iMac in my car and go to Mexico for 2 weeks on Rocky Point and just hang out on the beach.
Right.
But I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You know, when you've been on a plane and they talk about the flight attendants are like, hey, the mask falls. Right.
Yeah.
And before you help the person next to you, you got to put your own first. Right. So these paintings and sipping, that's the way you take care of
That's me helping myself. Yeah, you're right.
You're able to get through the rest of the week.
That's another good point. Like a lot of people, I've seen this a lot. People partner up with people and they're both like just getting started and they partner up for the wrong reasons. And then one person ends up doing most of the work. And then as a mentor, I have to tell the mentee, hey, y'all got to break up. And then I end up breaking up happy homes like that, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, one thing I've always said is it's easier to pull people up than it is to prop people up. Meaning you have to climb up and get on top first, so then you can pull people up. It's hard to get up there together at the same time. Right. So like you have to achieve your goals first.
I see.
Right.
I see. So coming back over to Randy, because I can see you're at the top, you're pulling him up, right? And I think that's kind of the position you were in for a while. And he's doing well for himself.
Yeah.
So he says here, as kids, he made sure I had a effing awesome childhood. Playing video games with me, beat my A, and sang me to sleep literally every day.
Yeah.
As a young man, I made sure I made some terrible decisions. My life should have ended when I was 20 years old, but I didn't want to disappoint my brother any further and cleaned up my life. So not to get into his story, but you know, I'm seeing like the fact you're literally having to sing to him, you know, to go to bed. You're carrying that, and at what age? Like when was that?
Man, I want to say I was probably like, I don't know, 11, 12. Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
That's crazy. He talks about it. I
haven't
like thought about that in a long time.
I mean, so where's, you know, obviously you have your wife now, but back then, where did you confide in? Like, who did you confide in, or where did you?
My mom. Okay. My mom was my best friend. We had a really tight relationship all the way up until probably like the end of my military career. And that's when it started. We're not as close. Then my mom, like, it's always been a struggle where, you know, I was a mama's boy. So it was like, no one's ever good enough for me, you know? And so like, that was just tough. But, yeah, I always confided in my mom. And it's funny you bring that up because I talk to my brother and he'll like, you know, vent to me sometimes. And, you know, I got to give him a fucking pep talk and smack him in the face and smack him in the ass, tell him go get him.
Yeah.
Like, nobody does that for me. I don't have that.
Right.
I don't fucking have that. And I tell my brother, like, he'll bring it up. He'll be like, bro, you know what I was thinking? He's like, you got my head right the other day when you're, you know, kind of fucking me up, building me back up. And I started thinking, like, who does this for Tino, you know? And it doesn't. Like, I have to, like, self-motivate myself, right? And I confide in my wife. She doesn't understand all of it, right? She's only as supportive as she can be.
Right.
But, you know, you don't really think about it. All I know is, like, the machine is running, the engine's running, and I got to make sure that motherfucker got gas in it. So
how do you do that? What is that?
It's just a relentless pursuit of success. That's it. relentless.
Your North Star is like you're continuing focusing on
it's
that.
always a grind, man. I was telling him, it's like, I don't fucking always win. Like, like I don't always fucking win, you know? But it's like, you have to, I just don't ever want to be poor again. I don't ever want to be poor again. I don't ever want to fucking, you know, worry about shit that I used to worry about when I was a kid. And my mom did her best, but it's like those type of feelings, you know, feeling like you're not good enough around the other kids, and you know, just that, I don't ever want to have those feelings again. So
it's powerful,
and I don't ever want my kids to feel that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I love that, actually, because, you know, as we get older, some of the feelings we felt as a kid, some of the bad feelings, we don't know that we're running away from them.
Right.
We don't know what we're doing. I mean,
you're
aware. Yeah, you're aware of it.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't want to feel that way, right? Which is good. That's your North Star.
Yeah.
And you keep going.
I like that.
So he, as a grown 34-year-old man, I'm a father, son, brother, fiance, business partner, uncle. I am today because of the things that he taught me. He brought me into the world of sales and even showed me how to put my first necktie at 25 years old.
Yeah.
Randy, one day you're going to look back at this moment and effing die of laughter when we're so much further ahead in life.
Yeah.
Fast forward 9 years and we've been by each other's sides professionally every day since that day. And we're rounding off here. Through multiple jobs together to finally both of us quitting at the same time and now operating multiple business together, not to mention complement each other so well in business. So Tino is the man. He taught me how to be the man. Looking back now, I'm grateful it was my brother Tino by my side rather than any other man. So he has high respect, high regard, right? And hopefully there's some sense of like relief, like you've done a great job.
Yeah.
And I know, you know, maybe you don't, but you've done a great job, and you've done a great job to others. And for someone 34 years, I'm 34, for a man to, you know, put his heart into this.
Yeah.
And he was taking forever to message. He's like, hey, you good? Like, he's like, I'm still working on it, you know? For him to put that out there, like, it means a lot. And hopefully that helps you feel like you've done
I'm super grateful, you know, I'm super grateful. And I just know that I tell him, like, today, like before we came here, I had a conversation heart to heart with him. I'm like, hey, dude, the reason why you're not where you want to be is because you're not carrying yourself like you're there. And I'm not saying fake it till you make it, but you don't believe you're the boss. And therefore your actions and the way you carry yourself sometimes doesn't ooze boss.
Right.
And then people around you start realizing, okay, maybe he's not the boss.
Right.
And then that's what happens. And you know, I always give him counsel and guidance and stuff like that, but it's good. I'm grateful that I am self-aware enough to know that I can give that kind of advice to my brother without being condescending, without being you know, just an asshole, or even just being able to give that advice, because I have done a lot of work on myself, internally, spiritually, the stuff I've been through, and being self-aware is important. I think that's like the biggest cheat code in life, not just business, in life, is being aware of who you are, what your intentions are as a person, and what you want to leave a mark in the universe before you pass. I think those are things I've thought about. A lot of people just don't even think about that. Like, you know, people think so nearsighted to what they want to achieve or what materialistic thing they want to get. They fail to realize that, like, I can be the most popular person in the world. I'll die. People will mourn me. People will say good things about me, right? There'll be a festival of life for me or whatever the fuck. Friends and family will cry. And then 6 months later, they'll have a party. People will get drunk. They'll cry. Remember, Tino, this is for you. They'll pour out some beer for me. And then what? And then 5 years from now, I'll just be like a picture in their phone. What you do now, what you have the power to do now, can impact people forever. I know it's crazy for a guy who like fucking seemingly has it all figured out. So fucking cool to be passionate about this. But it's true. What do you want your kids to remember you for? Your grandkids. People who never met you to know about you. That's ultimately what's important to me.
Wow. Wow.
Fuck.
You made me cry. That would make me cry. That would make me cry here. I guess that segues. The question here is, what is your faith? What is your belief? You know, Christianity, God, Muslim. I don't know where you stand, but who's that for you?
I didn't believe in, like, I was raised Catholic and did my first communion, confirmation, all that shit. Prayed to the statues and stuff, you know. And when I was in the army, I had a lot of things happen that made me question whether if there was a God, you know. Why would God do this to people? Why would God allow these people to feel this, to go through this? And I started researching. I had a near-death experience that kind of made me realize that shit is by design. You know, and ultimately I started realizing that I need to get to work. I started like researching different religions. I've researched all of them, and most recently I've been researching the Quran, and doing a lot of research because I feel like there's more. Every night before I go to bed, my wife makes fun of me because I look up things about UFOs and I look up things about religion and conspiracies and shit like that. It's because I feel like there's so much that I don't know, and I want to know everything. I want to know everything, and religion and where we come from and who we are and what happens after we die, and you know that is so interesting to me. So as far as faith goes, I do believe there is a God. I do believe there is a God.
Okay.
I don't know which organized religion is correct.
Do you think there is a correct?
I don't think there is. I think what's important is your relationship with your God or energy or whatever it may be. And I used to think that religion was just something that people believed in to make them feel like they have a purpose. But religion does help you be a better person. It helps you be, if you're not hypocritical,
right.
like most. If you're serious about it and you do follow it, it does help you be a better person. It does help you do better business, have better relationships in all aspects. But I think people focus too much on organized religion that is man-made instead of their own connection with God.
Agreed. Not a lot of people focus on spirituality,
right.
faith, and also after death.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see that you're very passionate. Like you, to the core of you,
yeah,
you know, a legacy is what matters to you,
yeah.
right? What are you wanting whether this podcast blows up or not, but what do you want people to know you as? I mean, you post, look, I have social media clout here. It's a social media art. It's an art to do what you do, right? But beyond the posts, what do you want people to know you as?
I want people to know me as a person who truly believes in people, even if they don't believe in themselves.
Wow.
I want people to remember me as a guy who always cared for people. I truly care about people. Nothing I do is like transactional. I care about people. I want them to succeed, and I want them to not just succeed, but I want them to change the way they view themselves. Most people just don't succeed or see any type of success relatively just because they don't, like I said, they don't believe in it. They don't have the confidence.
Right.
They have these limited beliefs that's this is it. This is it. And that's like it's so far from the truth. It's so fucking far from the truth.
Would you say kind of thinking about death and afterlife gives you confidence?
Yeah, it does. The first time I ever thought about dying was I remember exactly where I was. I was in Camp Anaconda in Iraq. It's an Air Force base. I was traveling through there on a mission in South Iraq and Basra with the British Special Forces.
Whoa.
And we stopped there for the night to shower and shit. Hadn't showered in like 4 days. It was fucking nasty. And I remember walking across a basketball court outside, and I was going to the gym there to go get a lift in. And I was like, fuck. Like, I could have died today. And I thought, like, what's going to happen if I die? And then that whole thing played in my head, like, the whole, like, people are going to mourn me, da-da-da-da-da. Then I'm just a picture in somebody's fucking cell phone.
Jeez.
And then what happens when later on, like, back then there was no, like, real iCloud backup.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That fucking Nokia is gone, Snake, and all the pictures are gone.
Yes.
Like, what do you got?
Jeez.
You know what I mean? So for me, like, now, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much impact you leave in people, in the world. Like, there's been so many messages where people told me, hey, man, like, I was going through depression. You helped me quit my job without even knowing. You've been mentoring me this whole time. You had no idea.
Wow.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like the best feeling in the world. But ultimately, I want to start a nonprofit. I was supposed to start it last year.
Oh, wow.
I want to do that. I want to help underprivileged kids in the greater Phoenix area.
I see you do that now still through some other organization.
Yep.
So, but you want to do your own thing.
Yeah, I want to do like build a full nonprofit, like full blown, and because now I'm funding everything myself basically.
Right.
And then donations, like I'm grateful to everyone that follows me on Instagram that has donated in the past toys for these kids. Like, you have no idea the impact that you do. That small token, $20, $15 here, that doesn't cost you shit. And it doesn't change your life in any way, changes the lives of all these kids. So thank you out there to anyone that has donated.
Yeah, I was, doing my research on your Instagram, and you're very selective what you post, but that stuff, it's there.
Yeah.
And I love that because, most people do that to get like praise. Like, hey, I'm doing this good stuff. Like, look at me, right?
Yeah.
Like I know you care. And I know that through what you post, it's just so that other people can come into it and help out.
Yeah.
It's not like this badge that you wear. Right?
Yeah,
Because I
no.
know you actually care.
Thank
So
you.
you said something in the beginning that children are like innocent, right? And they say
are.
how they just kind of like speak their truth, and you're helping kids. So are you just Tino, the big kid inside?
I am, dude. I am. I'm a big fucking, look what I'm wearing, bro. Look what I'm wearing. I'm wearing like skeleton Amiri shoes. Like fucking Kendrick looking fucking bell bottom sweatpants.
That's awesome.
A fucking Kanye t-shirt that I got from a Shopify store on Instagram,
That's
a targeted
awesome.
ad. It took like 4 weeks to get here from a dropship kid in China or something, Like, I'm a big kid, bro. Like,
love
fuck,
that.
dude, I'm 38 years old wearing fucking black Ray-Bans and my red hat backwards. Like,
how do you keep that?
dude, it's so hard. Even my wife, she lives with it. But you know, it's funny. I was the pictures on my Instagram. It's so funny. The ones like with myself by myself, I look like a fucking like look. Here's me looking like a rapper and shit, right?
Yes,
and
true.
then I'm with my wife. I'm all clean cut.
True.
You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then here's another one. I'm fucking looking like a rapper at an event. Here, watch. Like this. This is when, like, before the event, I got glasses on, like fucking easy slides. But then I'm chilling with my wife again, and I have a button.
Yeah, I see that. Okay.
And red bottoms. Like, every time I'm with my wife, look, I'm with my wife. She has me dress up nice.
I love that.
Yeah,
I see.
You know, so it's all in moderation.
Yeah.
But you know, I am a big ass kid. I like video games. I have you know, driving simulators.
Yeah.
I'm a kid, man. All the stuff that I wanted to do as a kid, now I can do it.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I can afford to paint. My mom couldn't afford to buy painting shit. It's an expensive hobby. We used to just do colored pencils and graphite pencils, and that's what I used to draw with, right? So I was really good at sketching, but as an adult during COVID, I was like, fuck it, I can afford to buy my own shit now. So I picked up painting.
I love that.
You know, I always wanted to have sports cars and luxury cars, and now I can afford it. So I'm going to do it. You know, I always wanted to I looked up the Jay-Z and the rappers and bling, bling. Every time I come around, you'll say, bling, bling. Now I can bling, bling, right? You know? Yeah. So I'm going to bling, bling.
Right.
And I don't give a fuck what people think.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where I go. I'm still Mexican. So
I did not expect to say
that. I'm still
doesn't matter where I go.
I'm still a minority. So either like I'm still a minority, and I've been through like racial fucking stereotypes and profiling and shit like that. Like I don't give a fuck. I don't let. That's not a chip on my shoulder. I don't have no monkey on my back.
You don't have that.
Yeah, like for me, like it doesn't matter if you fucking think I'm inferior because I'm dressed like a fucking 16-year-old rapper trapper kid or whatever, then so be it. I don't give a fuck. Right. You don't pay my bills. This is what I always say. I always tell people when people stress out about what people care about, hey, look, those people don't pay my fucking bills and they don't suck my dick at night. So if you're not doing both of those things or at least one of them, I don't want to hear it.
The things you say, man, they're your sayings, which is what's cool. It's like, that's you. I love it.
Yeah, I made it up. Patent pending.
Yeah. Well, you know, the story I've heard, you know, the Bitcoin, the car business, and the businesses you own. And I think everybody knows that, right? And that's great. You've achieved amazing things. Like, those are all your children, right? All those businesses are your children plus your real children, right? But I wanted to make sure that, you know, people really heard Tino.
Yeah, bro. I've never gone on a podcast and like, here's the difference. I'll say that. I'll say this. You did some research and you asked me some questions that were really hard, and you got me You softened me up by reading my brother's texts and bringing me back to my childhood, talking to me about my mom. And man, bro, I've never gotten emotional like that on a podcast, bro. Never.
I've watched most of them already and listen. Cause I wanted to get into the business, but you know, people know
everyone always asks that.
Yeah, the Bitcoin and you.
That's why my podcast is different as well. I ask the hard questions. To hear it. Yeah, I ask like really hard questions. Sometimes they're borderline disrespectful, but they're real raw. And like you said at the beginning, you said something that really resonated with me. Is that you said people learn not from all the good stuff but the bad stuff, and it's true. Like I could sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'd make this much money and blah blah blah. Like who gives a fuck, right? Like people out there listening want to learn how to, like, unless I'm gonna tell you what step by step I did to get there, you don't give a fuck. What's important is learning where I fucked up along the way so that you know I'm not gonna do that.
Right. Yes.
Right. Next time I get to that fork, instead of going this way, I'm going to go that way.
Yeah.
Right. And that's important. Like a lot of people don't highlight their losses because everyone cares about what everyone thinks about them. So they only want to post all their good shit. Right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I'm going to kind of round it off. I know you're a busy guy, so I'm going to start taking us home here. So a few questions and then we have a rapid fire round.
Cool.
One big question is, oh shoot, one more thing, and then we get into it. Right?
Okay.
The art of social.
I talk a lot, bro. I told you I talk a lot.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. But I want to respect your time, so I'm gonna.
No, bro, I'm good. I'm here. I'm yours.
Okay, cool. The art of social media.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you pay a guru, or this is all organic?
It's all organic, bro.
I love it, man. Talk to me. How did this come about?
No guru is gonna tell you to post fucking Mexican memes and rolled tacos with extra cheese. Yeah, so like it's funny, man. Like I'm knock on wood, I can do it again and again. I'm super proud because on the last pop up, you were there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was packed. It was a packed house.
Crazy.
And I'm so proud of myself because I didn't do one wall post. I didn't pay for $1 for ads, nothing. It was just from my stories, bro. From me rapping in my car, doing karaoke, just, fucking videoing my life and saying, hey, you want to learn how to do this? Come to the fucking pop-up. And we fill that motherfucker up, man. And bro, there's gurus that have paid me $15,000 to go speak on stage for 30 minutes at their event.
Yeah, Jamaica.
Yeah. Oh, that's another one. So I got flown out to Jamaica for fucking, 7 days, or 7 days, 6 nights, all inclusive, fucking sick as fuck. All I had to do was go out there for 30 minutes, speak on stage. And I think about it, I'm like, damn, dude, like I packed these motherfuckers. This motherfucker's packed. And there's people that like pay all this shit and they can't get half the people to show up. It's crazy. So that's why I'm like very grateful for my supporters, for the people that like, that just shows that they believe in me and they believe in themselves.
Right.
Like that, bro, like you can't buy that, bro. Like I said earlier, the people that are really rich want to be popular and they can't pack a fucking room, bro, if they paid people. Like I've seen it happen because I've worked at those events before as a speaker. So I'm just grateful, man. And all I do is just post what's interesting to me. But it is like a full-time job.
It is.
I'll say that.
100%.
Sometimes like if I don't post in the morning, by the end of the night, people be like, hey, what's going on, bro? Everything good? I get all these texts. I'm like, God damn, you missed me? And they're like, yeah, man, we missed your morning post, I posted. Look, the funny thing is I haven't posted today at all, but I'm always thinking about it, that to the point where I recorded a video this morning. Look at 9:20 a.m. Good morning. I didn't even post it. What are you going to do with today? Yeah. It's completely up to you. Like motivational post. I didn't even post it. I got my wife's
that's awesome.
Yeah, I got her a Van Cleef and Arpels bracelet for what is that shit? Valentine's Day. I was gonna post this. I was gonna post this little flex picture, you know what I mean? Didn't even post it. I haven't even posted it yet. Just been so busy all morning.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like all I'm posting is my life.
Right.
It's not like I'm staged like, oh, we're gonna go film content today.
Right.
It's just my day-to-day shit. Hey, I'm driving to fucking the taco shop, my favorite taco shop, Roberto's. They treat me like a god here, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm going to FedEx to pick up my wife's Valentine's Day gift. Yeah. So grateful that I can spend $5K on a fucking bracelet on a ram. Oh, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm in a meeting. Oh, man, this fucking meal prep's so good. Like, it's just my life. It's not like nothing special. Like, I don't ever, people be like, oh, how do you come up with your content ideas? I don't have content ideas. Like, what the fuck you mean?
Your life is the content. Your life is the content, but you think about it in a different way.
Right.
It's
so
not planned.
I think when I just post this stuff, I just have an eye for what looks cool and what doesn't look cool. You know what I mean? Because even I have some rich friends, and you know who the fuck you are. Rich friends who post stuff, but they look just so cringy when they're doing it. It's like, how are you so rich and so whack at the same time? I don't get it. I'll make fucking Walmart look cool. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah. But it's just some people just don't have the eye for it. For me, It's all organic. I did do some Kim Kardashian and what was their name? What was the girl that was dating Travis Scott? Kylie Jenner. I did a Kylie Jenner giveaways back in the day and shit. I did a Mia Khalifa one. Eyebrows got.
This is just a famous person. I don't know.
Yeah. His eyebrows went way up. He's gonna get in trouble when he get home. And did giveaways where they will be like, oh yeah, follow everyone that I'm following for a chance to win a Tesla, PS5, this. So they were all real people.
Right.
But they're all real followers. But then at that point, you have to. They're not as popular nowadays, those giveaway campaigns, but they were for a while. I did a Cardi B one. I did a bunch of different ones, and they're expensive. But I was like investing in my own personal brand. But here's the deal: like they join because they want to win the shit. If they don't win, the first time they see your content, they're like, oh, this fool's whack. This is why I follow them. They unhook. So if they see your shit and they're like, wow, actually this fool's pretty cool, then they follow and then they engage. they're like, oh, what does he do? Oh, he does real estate. He does this. Hey, how do I get involved in that? How do I get started?
Right.
Like, I don't run ads for fucking mentorship programs. I don't run ads for, 2-day intensives. I don't run ads for pop-ups. I'm just being myself. And then people are like, wow, it's cool. So I don't sell. Like, there's people that go on their Instagram and sell 24/7. Like, as soon as you click on this motherfucker's bubble at the top, he's going to be trying to sell me some shit, right? Like me, they see my bubble because I got a lot of people that subscribe to my notifications on.
Right.
They are like, oh, yeah, as soon as I see your shit up top, I already know it's going to be something funny or something cool. Yeah. And they click on it, right?
It's true.
And then from there, every now and then, occasionally, when I do throw an ask out there, a sell, it's like, it's easy.
Yeah, you don't devalue yourself by asking.
Right.
You give more than you take.
You know what's funny too? Like when people they pay attention. I have a course that I created mainly for like mentees, for my executive mentees, like one-on-ones. When they onboard, I give them access to the course. I'm like, here, go through this first, and then we're gonna train because I need you to kind of get your feet wet a little bit. And I was selling it for like, I think it was like $4.99 or $5.99, and I sold a bunch of it, but nothing crazy. I don't really sell, like I said. But then I did one weekend during my daughter's birthday weekend. I did a name your price.
Yeah,
name your price.
I did it.
You did? Did you pay $1?
No, I paid $79.
Oh, thank you, bro. Yeah. There's a lot of people that paid $1. And there's people that paid $1,000. There's people that paid $500. There's people that paid $1. Right? And at the end of the thing, dude, I made $32,000 in that weekend. Yeah, dude. Yeah, $32,000 from name your price.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. What the fuck, man? So I have a little bit of influence. I'm thinking like, okay, that and so then I start thinking, okay, so then what can I do with this? Can I continue to grow and help people, or because a lot of companies reach out to me. A lot of companies reach out to me, and they're like, yo, can you sell my shit? Da, 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 da. Or I got this program, this project. Can you push it for me? Make you an affiliate. I just won't do it because I don't trust that they're going to deliver on it, or it's going to be something that's ethical, or just going to pan out.
Can't risk your brand.
Yeah, and I kissed a couple frogs before I got some princes, right? And like now, like I have a meal prep company that like sponsors me. That's I got cool. Like a fucking supplement company that sponsors me. Like, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff, but I always pay for it first. I'm like, they're like, hey, can you, we'll give you a code. I'm like, well, let me pay for it no, we're going to give you for a week free. And I'm like, nope, let me pay for it. And let me try it out. Wow. So I can give you my honest opinion.
Cool.
And then if it's something I don't like, then I'm going to fucking let you know.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so like, it's crazy. The social media thing is so important. People don't understand that. Businesses do not they don't understand the power of social media.
Yeah.
Like the power of social media is so great. Like it's so huge in today's society that, like if my wife's like, hey, she finds reservations for date night and shit like that. It's all from like Instagram. Like, oh, I saw this.
Oh, the post, right?
Yeah, the reels and shit. And that's how we end up going to these restaurants. And then I'll have restaurants that reach out to me like, hey, we'd love to have you, da 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 da. And then I go to the restaurant. And it's funny because if I get invited to a restaurant by one of the restaurants, and if I don't like the restaurant, I definitely won't talk about it. but if I like it, then it's cool, and I don't even mind paying. Like I'll pay because I love food. That's my favorite thing in the world to do.
I know. I see you post the steaks.
Yeah, dude, I love. Cool. You know what? To me, growing up as single mom, and just me and my brother, like nothing is more intimate and more. I'm just so grateful to have a meal with somebody. So like that's the most like if people are like, oh yeah, let me take you out for lunch. I won't just go have lunch with anybody.
Right.
Like, if I have lunch with you, and it's not just like a business meeting, then it means I truly
breaking bread.
Yeah, I enjoy your company.
That's cool.
So like it's a sacred thing to have a meal with somebody. To me at least.
That means that's cool. Not many people think about it. They take it for granted. They just have a meal and then on to the next.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, to me, it's very, very important, sacred. I don't have meals with just anybody.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, you posted yesterday. Hey, Tino, let me buy you a drink. Let me get you. Yeah. Like, I can get my own drink. Yeah. I get my own food.
Yeah,
right?
Dude.
I see it all the time.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yes. And one thought came up is that it's not real estate. Real estate's the vehicle.
Yeah.
you actually love to inspire people.
Yeah.
It's just that real estate's the vehicle you use to. And that's why people show up to these events.
Yep.
Some of them unfortunately is showing up just to be inspired, maybe not take some action.
Yeah.
But your posts inspire them to show up, whether it's real estate or you're selling cars. It doesn't matter what you do. It's the inspiration, and you use real estate as that vehicle.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. I think everybody like it, I meet people that are like 7-figure people, but they don't know they're 7-figure people yet because they're in 6-figure jobs or they're just in the wrong vehicle. So I had somebody who I respect highly told me one time, "You're a 7-figure earner. You're just in the wrong vehicle." I said, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "If you were doing what you're doing now in this vehicle, you'd be a millionaire." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "You're redlining a Prius right now when you should be hopping in the Ferrari."
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck."
Ouch.
So I quit my job, and then my first month on my own, I made $284,000.
Jeez.
And then I realized, I was in the wrong vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the picture of you? It was like it's your first picture at the desk standing up, and there's like a window behind you.
Yeah.
Is that your first real estate gig?
That's my first real estate gig.
Okay.
Yeah. I did 33 deals in 5 weeks, my first 5 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No formal training or anything. I just use what I learned in the car business and apply it to, and now that's what I basically teach to my mentees.
Yeah, I've taken his course. They for whatever reason said $400 for the month, and I was like, "Yo, this is crazy." So I paid the $400, and it's great value. I've learned a lot. So if they still
my
have
friends are telling me I'm fucking retarded,
dude. It's crazy.
They're like,
value.
"Dude, you got people in your office for $400 a month?" I was like, "Yeah, man." And they're like, "What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?" I'm like, "Dude." They're learning, bro. Like there's no better way to learn than sitting left seat, right seat with somebody.
It's true.
It's even in the army, like when you're on deployment in Iraq and then the next team that's relieving you comes, like for 2-3 weeks, you sit side by side with your replacement.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that's where I learned it from. Like,
that's cool.
You know, so like with my mentees, I have a mentee. Shouts out to Caitlin Galbraith. She's Scottish. She has no accent though. I just like saying her name like that. She's in our office right now, and she's the only one-on-one mentee that I gave an actual card to my office and a parking card. I pay for a parking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I'm like, you're gonna succeed. She was in the car business, and I made it like my personal fucking like goal to make sure she fucking crushes it, because she was in the car business and all of her friends and her family, even her dad, are being like naysayers. Like,
wow.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh."
So you get to be that voice of reason.
Yeah, so like, and she's got a couple deals already, man. Fat fucking deals.
I love it. Well, hopefully that promotion's still out there. You can reach out to him. But I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I learned a lot, but really the feeling of being around you guys on the calls gave me more confidence in my own calls.
That's all it takes, man, because you don't know what you don't know, and sometimes when somebody's there listening to you, they can be like, "Hey, bro, say this."
Yes.
Put them on like on fucking mute and say, "Hey, dude, say it. Now say this, now say that."
Randy did that for me when I was on the phone. He's like, "Say this." He was like writing it down. I was like, "Okay, cool, I'll do that." So take advantage of that if you can. All right, let's round us off here. So, a few big questions and then rapid fire.
Sure.
What's your biggest regret in life, if you have one?
My biggest regret in life is not thinking I was enough, not accepting that I was enough. Yeah.
Okay, I love that. That's huge. I mean, that's we're moving quick, but that's like the self-belief, right?
Yeah.
And you had that was with your mom growing up, and you had to face that,
right?
And that's powerful. I think a lot of us do feel that sometimes, and the fact that you were able to overcome it.
Dude, most people don't feel that they're adequate, and it's not just like financially, it's emotionally, their physical appearance. There's so many different things that as humans, as people, we just like view as crutches, like we're not good enough, or man, if I looked like the white kids, I would be like, people would like me better,
right?
Or man, if I had more money, like I would get the dream girl, or like, man, if I fucking was in better shape, like I can do what more people wouldn't overlook me. Like there's so many different things that they're self-sabotaging,
right?
And you can self-heal them though.
Yeah. And what was that for you?
For me, it was just thinking that, like my parents were divorced. My friends' parents weren't divorced. They had two household, like 2 income households. I didn't. So once I started realizing that there was like a separation and quality of life as far as like income goes, I started feeling like I wasn't good enough. Like my clothes were from Goodwill. You know what I mean? I was wearing used socks, like shit like that. Yeah, that was the thing that I felt like no matter Kanye said something that reminds me of when I was a kid. He said it's in All Falls Down. He says even though you're in a Benz, you're still a nigga in a coupe. Right?
Yeah.
And so I think about that. I I used to be scared to go to nice places. Not scared, but like I would feel weird.
Okay.
I know that's crazy, right?
That's crazy.
It's insecurity. Yeah. I would feel like I wasn't good enough. Like I would feel like, damn, all these people are rich.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did you do to overcome this?
I just started thinking I'm enough and I don't give a fuck what people think. Like I said, if they don't pay my bills or suck my dick, I don't give a fuck. You know, like as vulgar as that is, it's true though. Like think about it, you know? I started realizing that like these people don't care about me. Like I'm just a fucking NPC in their world, in their video game, and just like they're NPCs in my game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I always think about that. Like it's 2025. Like racism and fucking, you know, racial profiling still exists to this fucking day, bro.
Yeah.
This day, my ex-wife is white. Like I've dated a black girl for 3 years. I have I don't see colors. I don't see races. I don't see how slanted your eyes are. Like that doesn't exist to me, you know? And it's crazy that you still kind of see that sometimes.
Right.
So, and like my brother, he looks like a white guy, right? I look like I'm, you know, ethnic.
Right.
My brother looks like a white guy. So a lot of people will fucking say racist shit to him thinking he's white. Like, and he just be like, what the fuck? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like they'll say like some racist shit and he'll just be like, yeah, man. Like he's just like, all right. And then my brother will be like, yo, bro, these fools think I'm white. It's funny. You know,
I can see that.
But there's racism in all races. You know, there's
true.
racism in black people and Hispanic people and Asians. It's Indians, fucking Arabs. Like
it's true.
It's funny, but we're all products of our environment, and that's why I teach my kids that we're all the same.
Just about to say, yeah, your kids are growing up in another world.
Yeah,
you know they're gonna see everybody equal.
Yeah, I do affirmations with them. They're fucking so empowered. My kids, you cannot fucking persuade my kids to do something wrong. You cannot fucking tear them down. Like their mindsets are so fucking strong that they have more belief in themselves than most grown fucking men will.
Come on, that's huge. Yeah. That's powerful. Because they're the next generation.
They are, man.
We're going to be gone and they're going to be leading this world.
And my son, he says, when I grow up, I want to fucking be a pro football player, soccer. And he's like, I'm going to buy you a Lambo, daddy. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, you better get to fucking work. You know?
I love that. I love that. Okay. I asked you, how would you like to be remembered? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I don't know. I always had this dream that I would be retired by 35. I'm 38 now.
Okay.
Yeah. I always told myself that. I was 17 years old in high school, a senior in high school. I'd be like, man, I'm gonna retire by 35. I always said I'm gonna have a Benz by 25. I'm gonna retire by 35. Well, I had a twin turbo 335i coupe, manual transmission, E92, fucking sick. Yeah. When I was 25, and a 6-pack.
Yeah.
And then at 35, I'm not retired, but I was a millionaire. And I don't think I'll ever retire. But in 5 years, I hope to convince my wife to give me another kid.
That's cool.
I think that's what I care about. I don't care about anything else. Everything else always just falls into place.
I love that. That's a really cool answer. I didn't expect that. I love that. And I can tell that, you know, these materialistic things, that things you have don't have anything on you. Like it doesn't hold you. So that your answer is actually perfect.
It's so crazy. We had this conversation on the way here. I'm telling him like, hey, I could lose everything today. And I wouldn't be too proud to go get a job, support my family. I don't need to wear a $50,000 watch. I don't need to drive a fucking Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
You don't need to. It's a want. It's a
Right.
luxury.
Right.
They don't define who I am. Like, I know everybody says, "Oh, you treat the janitor the same way you treat the CEO," right? Like, that's just like a saying, but I truly, truly am bought into that. That, people are just people, and we all put our pants on one leg at a time.
Yep. I agree.
We don't fucking jump into them like we're Superman or something.
I met you on Instagram.
Yeah.
You posted about the plugged in, and I've met some people who have some clout, have some money, and I was like, okay, who's Tino really going to be when I'm around him, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell when people like the feeling of having clout, right?
Yeah.
You honestly, look at me in the eye. You're not like, I know you got to take things and be on your phone every now and then, but when you're with the person, with me, I can tell you're there.
Yeah.
And the most frustrating thing to me is like, I don't have millions of followers, but I do my best to be with every person I'm with. And I can tell that you do that. Instead of, you have a million other things to do.
Oh, yeah,
but
my phone's been fucking twerking on this table.
Yeah. But you know the value of a person.
Yeah, being present, man.
Yeah, being present. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. And I get that. So he is very present if you guys ever get the chance to meet him. All right, rapid fire round. We're closing it off here.
Cool. I'm yapping, huh?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I love it. Pizza or spaghetti?
Pizza.
Oh, fast. That was fast. Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Okay, I saw that in your fridge at the office. Yep. A walk on the beach or early morning hike?
Walk on the beach.
Oh, okay. All right. Would you rather make $1 million once, or actually, would you make $1 million up front or $15,000 a month for the rest of your life?
$1 million up front.
Okay. Yeah. Why that?
$1 million up front. You can invest $1 million and cash flow way more than $15,000.
Okay. Yeah. Some people, it's always up in the air with that one.
Well, you know what? Well, most people that say $15,000 a month have never made $15,000 a month. I made $1 million. I made $15,000 a week, multiple times. I made $15,000 a day. And probably in a couple hours.
It keeps getting smaller in a second.
Right.
Yeah.
In an episode of Seinfeld. But I'll say this, it's having a liquid $1 million, like I have that. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm a millionaire," and asset on paper, right? But then you have to, like, when you go to sell your shit, you're not gonna get all the shit that you're asking for.
Right.
I've truly had $1 million in my bank account, and you know how hard it is to save that kind of money, and how hard it is to have like the discipline not to fuck it off as a grown kid like myself, bro.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I spent $9,000 on tattoos. Like, like I'm a kid, bro. Like, even though I'm like, that's probably not a good financial decision, but who gives a fuck?
Right? It is. I love that. Yeah.
Run it,
Yeah, I love that. Okay. That's good insight. I'm curious about this one, football or basketball?
Basketball.
Okay. You don't really post a lot of sports, so I was kind of up in the air in that.
Allen Iverson, the GOAT.
Yeah, you said that. That makes sense. It makes sense. Okay. This one I think I know the answer to, stock or crypto?
Crypto.
Right.
Crypto.
And again, you have a lot of businesses, and I just kind of wanted to kind of leave that out. You've talked a lot about it. I think you're proud about all that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to find value in other things. So just know I did my research and all that.
You did a fucking incredible job.
Cool. Thank you. Lamborghini or Ferrari guy?
Ferrari, it's different. I feel like you can't pick just one. Ferrari is a gentleman's car.
Yeah.
A gentleman's
old money
car.
is what I say.
Right, for sure. Lamborghini's cool. It's amazing. It's exhilarating. I've driven both. Every day, Ferrari. To feel your testicles in your throat, Lamborghini.
That's funny.
Yeah.
If you had to put your
just in one, Ferrari.
Okay.
Ferrari.
Okay.
Ferrari LaFerrari gym car.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. You're the cigar, the whiskey guy.
Yep.
Okay.
Not the corny leather gloves, but gold AP and fucking,
the gloves. That's a good one, actually. That's funny. And the last question here. I'm very curious to hear this one. If you can have any superpower in the world, what would it be?
If I could have any superpower in the world, it would be to go back in time. Yeah.
And why is that?
Because I don't want my kids to grow up.
I'm not a father, but I'm sure that's not easy. I look at my cat and I'm like, oh crap, he's getting old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that's something that's not.
I think about that. I'm like, dude, my kids will never be this age again. They'll never, like, I'm their hero. And of course, they're always going to look up to me. And, no one's going to ever be daddy. But it's like, they're going to get older. And I'm going to get older. And I'm never going to be able to relive those moments. So that's probably like, that would be my superhero. My superpower. Plus, I can go back in time and buy more Bitcoin when I bought it at $496.
Yes.
Yeah. But honestly, it would just be, the main thing is just so I can relive my, you know that movie Interstellar?
Yes, love that.
Remember that when he's like looking through the bookcase and
yes, seeing his daughter in there.
Yeah, dude, like that shit fucked me up.
Yeah,
that shit fucked
me powerful.
And I think about that. Because it's like, dude, my kids are, bro. That shit changed me. Like having kids, like completely changed me. I was so selfish. Before.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
everything I do is for my kids, even if like, sometimes they don't look like it. Everything I do is for my kids. I don't really post my kids or my wife too much,
right?
Because people use it to get like against you sometimes, and I don't like that. Like I don't like people. Like the most private things in my life are the most private things in my life, the most important things. So I don't really share them too much. People know I have kids. People know I'm married, clearly.
Right.
But like family is the most important thing to me in the world.
Yeah.
My immediate family first.
It's precious to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell because you don't post about them.
I don't.
Which is cool. I respect it a lot. Your wife's name is so cool.
It's
like
America.
every time I hear you guys talk about it, I'm like, yo, that's sick.
Yeah.
Is that really her name on
it's
paper?
her name. Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So do people are like, America, like, are you serious? Or
yeah, they're like, are you serious? I'm like, it's the greatest fucking country in the world,
yeah. That's awesome.
It's good because she does our transaction coordination.
Yeah.
So when she calls sellers, they're like, excuse me, is your name really American? She's like, yeah.
There's banter. Right.
They're like, oh my God. And yeah. I had this one old guy, kind of creepy dude. I was telling him about my wife. Oh yeah, she's a transaction coordinator. Da, da, da. She's like, oh, I bet she's hot, huh? I'm like, she's smoking. And then he like calls her. And he's like, oh yeah, your husband said you're smoking. Yeah, he's like, yeah. And then he's like, I bet you're a real looker. Like,
it's crazy.
The old man's trying to get a picture out of her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told Randy that you guys should have a TV or a camera guy in the office and have a reality show, like the stuff that happens, the phone calls you guys have would go off.
That's like honestly like, that's kind of like, so I had a camera guy. He followed me around like for 3 years, like straight. We were building a documentary, kind of like, I hate to say it like corny, but like the Kanye documentary. And, he interviewed my mom and stuff about me growing up and went down memory lane. We sat in my living room and recorded like 3 hours of fucking raw footage. And over the years, he's been traveled with me to different events and day to day, like he would show up at my house at 9 a.m. every day and spend the whole day with me.
Jeez.
And I have all this footage, but we didn't turn it into anything. And I was like, man, we can turn, like, I would love to have a reality TV show, like a true reality TV show, not like one that's scripted, because you know how they script them, but like a true one. Because honestly, like my life is interesting enough, I feel like, that I would watch it. And it's not because I'm biased, because it's my life, but it's fucking interesting. Like, like I do a lot of fucking cool shit that I don't even post because it's just like, it's just my life and I'm trying to be present, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I think that would be cool. Like maybe one day I'll hire somebody to just fucking, a couple camera dudes and just like film everything, create a pilot and like try to get it on something.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I want to leave it off with you on the floor. Is there anything you want to say to that guy that's trying to get to where they want to be? Shaq in progress. I'm in progress. I'm losing weight, trying to build a company. To the guy that's listening to get where they want to be, what can you leave them with?
Just don't give up, man. Don't give up. And, just always try your best. Like a lot of people try really, really hard and don't see success and then they quit. Also, work smarter, not harder. It's okay to work hard, but work hard in the right direction. A lot of people work fucking hard. Like they should be way more successful than me,
right?
But they're working in the wrong direction because they don't know what they don't know. Find yourself somebody that you can look up to that has achieved, even if it's a fraction of what you want to achieve, and try to bring value. Try to be around them. Okay, hire mentors. Take the elevator, not the stairs. Should I pay mentors, man?
That's cool.
I have a mentor I paid 150 racks to. Wow. A lot of fucking money, man. But I'll say this, my mindset's completely changed by talking to this person. And he made me believe that I can do anything I want to.
Wow.
Anything I want to. And so just be around people that are going to push you. Just be around. That's like the main thing you can do is just be around people that are going to be a positive influence on you and that are not too scared to tell you you're fucking up. Because a lot of people are around friends who won't tell you you're fucking up.
True.
They won't. They'll just talk behind your back.
Jeez.
You want people that are going to tell you you're fucking up and offer solutions. Not like an intervention or anything, but just like help you.
Right.
Help you. And always try to be better than you were yesterday. It's that simple. In all areas. All areas. I let myself go sometimes, man. And I catch myself slipping. I'm like, fuck, I need to get to work. Doesn't matter what it is, right?
Right.
And we're all in progress, dude. Everyone's in progress. I'm not in my fucking final Super Saiyan fucking, form yet either, man. I'm still progressing, still trying to be a better husband, a better dad, a better brother, a better, friend, a better businessman. It's a relentless pursuit to being quasi perfect, because you'll never be perfect, but quasi perfect.
So then what is success to you then?
Success to me is being an amazing father and husband, and as a bonus dessert side piece is to be able to impact people in a positive way. That's it, man. Like you can't do that until you have the other stuff done. Right. So like first my home has to be good.
That's powerful.
It has to be good. Because what would I look like trying to impact people if my fucking kids don't see their dad? Or it's like a job, like an obligation instead of I get to be around my kids,
I love that. Yeah, most not most, but there are businessmen who go to great heights.
Yeah.
Have the biggest regrets. They weren't there for the soccer games. They weren't there for the dinners. Yeah. And the kids grow up with resentment, not having their dad around. That's right. True. So you've been able to do what you want to do, build this company, but be present with your kids.
Yeah.
So I call you a success.
Thank you.
Throw the money in the watches and the clothes.
Yep.
I respect that so much more, that you wanted to be a great father, which you are.
Thank you. Yeah, nobody's on their deathbed saying, "Oh man, I wish I would have fucking made more money."
It's
right?
So true. Wow.
It's always like, I wish I would have spent more time with my family.
Wow.
Yeah. No one that's on their deathbed that bought a Lamborghini when they probably shouldn't have ever said, "Oh man, I wish I never bought that Lamborghini."
Wow.
Right?
That's so true.
It's true, man. You only live once, man. You only YOLO once. You only live once. If you only, me and my brother says, you only YOLO once. So it's you only live once. It's stupid. It's stupid.
That's awesome.
It's dumb, but it's true, man. That. Like you only live once. So like, at least that's what we know, right? So,
yeah, right.
So we only live once, and while we're here in this meat suit around all our family and friends, we should live it to the fullest, man. Do all the stuff that you thought. Yeah, you think about, that you talk about, just do it.
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping you.
I love that.
Nobody's stopping you but yourself.
I'm gonna literally mic drop that right there. No one's stopping you but yourself.
Yeah.
That speaks to me.
Yeah.
Tino, thank you, man. Hope you had a good time.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
This was great. Hopefully we can have you in the future 5 years from now.
Yeah.
When maybe you have a kid again and we can do this all over. All right, guys, follow him. Tino Hernandez on Instagram, FTH. I think that's what it comes out to.
Fuck the haters.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
People think it's my initials, Faustino Tino Hernandez.
Yeah.
Or fuck the haters.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.